Okay, good night, everyone. Today I will explain about my assessments related to optimizing in the food supply chains network for the eastern region of Indonesia. Okay, next. Here's the background of the PT Indofood Sukses Makmur, commonly known as Indofood, is one of the large food manufacturing companies in Indonesia. Indofood has a diversified product portfolio, including instant noodles, dairy products, snacks, food seasonings, and beverages. It also has a significant distribution network across the country to meet the needs of its consumers. Given Indonesia's geographic challenge with over 17,000 islands, designing an effective supply chain network is crucial for Indofood to minimize costs and maximize customer satisfaction. Now is the problem statement. Indofood is currently facing increased demand in the eastern region of Indonesia, example like Sulawesi, Maluku, and Papua. However, their existing distribution network is struggling with timely deliveries due to long lead times, high logistic costs, and limited local manufacturing capabilities. The company is considering options to optimize its supply chain network to improve and efficiency and meet rising demand. The question is, what factors should be considered when deciding to establish a new manufacturing plant or a distribution center in the eastern regions? Two, based on the demand and cost analysis, which option is more feasible for Indofood, a new factoring plant or a new distribution center? Three, which transportation mode should Indofood consider for delivering products to the eastern region and why? Perform a cost-benefits analysis comparing the existing network versus the proposed network design. And the last one is identify and explain potential risks in implementing the new supply chains design and provide strategies to mitigate these risks. Now, key issues in the eastern regions is first the long lead time, 10 until 20 days. The scene shipping from Java to Papua involves long distance sea travel. The process can take almost 2 weeks. The high logistic costs, long distance, and lack of infrastructure make transporting goods more expensive, especially to remote areas. And the last one, the issue is slow response to local demand. The absence of local storage or production facilities makes it difficult for Indofood to respond to sudden out-of-season demand. Facility solutions, manufacturing plant versus distribution center. Factor initial investment for manufacturing plant is the high risk, like requires machinery, skilled labor, full constructions, and for distribution centers is low because requires only warehouse setup and logistics system. Factor number two is about lead time to customer. The manufacturing plant is slow because the products are made closer to the end market, but the distribution center is medium, still shipping from Java but stored close. Factor number three is about implementation time. Manufacturing plant is the risk is high, it requires permits, infrastructure utilities, and for the distribution center is low because the faster to build and operate. Wait a minute. And next, for the factor number four is about operation flexibility. The manufacturing is low. The solution is low that difficult to scale or relocate quickly. And for the distribution center is high that easily scaled based on demand. Factor number five or the last one factor is short-term efficiency. manufacturing plant is about low, take years to achieve ROI, and then distribution centers is high because immediately logistic savings after setup. A manufacturing plant is a long-term solution with high capability and time requirement only visible if demand is consistently high. And another conclusion is about distribution centers or DC offer faster deployment and cost saving for the short to medium term, and for the flexibility is key in Eastern Indonesia is where demand is variable and access can be difficult. So the recommended option is establishing a distribution centers in Eastern Indonesia is more feasible for Indofood than building a new manufacturing plant because while the demand is increasing, it may not yet justify the high capital investment of a new plant. A DC requires low upfront costs, can be implemented faster, and help reduce lead time significantly. A DC also allows Indofood to consolidate shipments from Java and distribute them local at lower cost, improving service level without major long-term commitment. In summary, the DC offers better cost efficiency, flexibility, and quicker returns, make it the smarter short to medium-term solution. Next, transportation mode for delivering to Eastern Indonesia. First is the sea freight or primary mode. The advantage is most cost efficient for large volumes, and then regular shipping routes exist from Java like Surabaya or Semarang to major eastern ports like Makassar, Ambon, and Jayapura. And the last one is suitable for non-perishable products with moderate lead time requirement. And for disadvantage is slower than air transport and prone to weather disruption, port congestion, and seasonal delays. The conclusion is sea freight is ideal for bulk FMCG shipment where low cost is prioritas over speed. And then the transportation mode number 2 is air freight selective use. The advantage is fastest options, ideal for urgent deliveries, high value goods, or stock replenishment in remote areas, and useful in emergency situation or during peak demand. The disadvantage is very expensive, limited capacity, and higher carbon footprint, not suitable for low margin or heavy goods. The conclusion is use air freight only when speed is critical and volume is low. And the last one is multimodal transport, sea and land. Approach is ship goods by sea to a regional hub like Makassar, then transport them overland via trucks to surrounding areas. The benefits is balanced costs and delivery flexibility, and change service coverage to remote or less accessible location. And the last conclusion is this is a strategic solution to extend in the food/last mile delivery network while maintaining control over distribution costs. The COG simulations. In this slide, we explain the cost analysis using the center of gravity COG simulations. We have selected 5 samples area to be included in the simulations like Maluku, West Papua, Fak, Timika, and Dolok. The symbol for XN means is horizontal coordinate X of customer locations and symbol YN is means vertical coordinates or Y of customers locations and demand or DN is means demand or number of units required at customer locations, and symbol for CN is cost per unit to deliver to customer location and for the symbol X means current X coordinates of the distribution center. Symbol symbol Y is means current Y coordinates of the distribution centers, and the DN last is means distance from distribution center X and Y to point N. Next, based on the 4 iterations of the center of gravity simulations, I observed consistent convergence of the optimal coordinates for the new distribution centers in Eastern Indonesia. The X coordinate established around 4.8 to 5.2, and the Y coordinate established around 7.1 to 7.6. This indicates that the ideal location for a cost-efficient distribution hub lies within this coordinate range, which is geographically central to the sample regions, like Maluku, West Papua, Fak, Timika, and Dolok. Additionally, the total cost gradually decrease or stabilize with each iteration, suggesting increasing optimizations. The center point minimizes the weight transportation cost by balancing demand, volume, and cost per unit over distance. So the conclusion is the VOG method effectively helps identify an optimal central locations for a potential distribution center, ensuring better access to high demand areas while reducing logistic costs in the distance logic. So last, the risk assessment and mitigation. Risk. The first risk is inaccurate demand forecasting. Descriptions. Misestimating for future demand in eastern regions like Maluku and Papua could lead to overcapacity or stock outs. The mitigation is use historical sales data and apply demand forecasting models like time series or machine learning. And then the mitigation number 2 is regularly update forecast every quarter to account for market change. Risk number 2, infrastructure limitations. Remote area may face poor road condition, limited port facilities, or unreliable utilities. The mitigation action is conduct feasibility students on target location before finalizing sites and collaborate with local government to improve logistic infrastructure. The risk number 3 is high initial investment costs. Building a new distribution center requires capital expenditure for land, equipment, and facilities. The mitigation action is start with a smaller scale modular distribution hub, explore leasing option or public-private partnership to reduce upfront costs. And risk number 4 is political or regulatory uncertainty, sorry. Change in local regulations, tax, or policies could disrupt operations. The mitigation action is engage with local legal consultants and stay updated on regional policies, and diversify distribution network flexibility to quickly adapt to regulatory change. And the last risk is transportation disruptions. Natural disaster, port congestions, or inter-island shipment delays could increase lead time. Mitigation is implementing multimodal transport plans like sea, air, or and land, and build safety stock buffers in remote warehouse to absorb delays. Okay, so that's all from the result of my presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.